Welcome back to Straight Talk. Tonight we're remembering a special member of the KGW team you may know best as the iconic host and voice behind Grant's Getaways. We're talking about longtime outdoor reporter, author, and teacher Grant McOmie, who died last week at the age of 73. In just a few minutes, his longtime friend and photographer Jeff Kastner will join us to share his memories of Grant. But first, Laurel Porter takes a look back at his decades-long career that left a deep impact on so many of us.
The Columbia River Gorge is a place where views are never twice the same.
Grant McOmie was a consummate storyteller.
Look at the scenery. Best part of the entire trip. And I've got a mile-wide smile to prove it. It's gorgeous. The Willava Mountains.
He loved nothing more than to share the wonders of the Pacific Northwest.
There's nothing better than a stroll in the woods, especially when there's treasure underfoot.
Like that guy right there, he's sitting there.
Hey, Marty! How are you?
It's people, traditions,
Been waiting for this for a long time.
Smoked razor clams.
food.
Yes, I am in seafood heaven.
Oh! Oh!
The Oregon coast is spectacular
The
anytime.
great outdoors
But in late summer, when the sun goes down and
with
conditions
all of
are
us.
just right, there's something magical and marvelous.
Couldn't have asked for better conditions tonight. Oh, yes. I got it. That's awesome.
With its canyon walls rising for
In his 44 years of reporting on television, there wasn't a river, a town,
That's where they should be, right there. There he is. Yeah, there he is.
trout stream, or crossroads anywhere in the state of Oregon that he didn't visit.
When you travel through Hell's Canyon, be prepared to get more than your feet wet.
Forecast was 100% showers today.
Along the way, always finding the human connection
So there's really no such thing as bad weather, just inappropriate clothing.
I love that.
and community.
There he goes. There's a fish.
Paddling on Beaver Creek is one of the most peaceful and one of the closest times that you can get in tune with nature.
If you've ever seen one of his stories, read one of his books,
Think you're a million miles away.
or heard him lecture,
As you point that travel compass in any direction, you're going to see something different.
you would know that he cherished the time he got to spend wandering the state.
It's a byway that rambles with views to cascading streams.
His love of the forest, open skies, wildlife, the ocean, cafes, and neighborhood seafood boils all showed in his joy-filled smile and open-hearted laugh.
This is always the toughest part of my job. Not.
Every time I ask Steve for a new and unique recipe, he surprises me at every turn. It is delicious.
In the southern Willamette Valley, just minutes from Eugene, it's easy to find
He stood in awe of the extraordinary beauty of the Northwest and found fast friendship with the people who he shared it with.
How's it feel?
It feels really big. Really big.
Grant was on TV and in his writing exactly as he was in person, friendly, curious about the world, and always, always so enthusiastic.
Oh, baby.
He drew that enthusiasm out in others, too.
You gotta love Oregon.
You could see that on the faces of everyone he shared time with.
Big fish on the big sea. Check it out.
Big, wide grins and happy smiles.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it is good.
It's got a spice to it.
In 2021, Grant was recognized for a lifetime of achievement by the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, with an induction into the Silver Circle, an honor he added to his many other Emmys, as well as a host of other awards.
The Forest Service has just completed the groundwork for their
His
new
reward,
Salmon
though,
River and
was
Trout
always
Trail.
just the chance to tell another story. He considered himself a storyteller, a writer, but would often say, as a reporter, he had the best assignment anyone could ever ask for.
I'm ready. Ready to ride.
Grant McOmie, we will miss you. Thank you for sharing your stories with us.
And our thanks to Laurel Porter for that tribute to a man loved by so many of us. Grant leaves behind his wife, Chris, and their 3 grown boys. And next to family, the person joining me now may have been the next closest to Grant. Jeff Kastner was Grant's longtime friend and collaborator, photojournalist, and editor on those amazing stories you all told. Jeff, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Tim. Yeah, it's been a hard week for sure, but
yeah.
I just keep on thinking of all the memories and the legacy that Grant left us. It's just amazing.
Well, it's an honor to have you here, and we're so glad you want to share some of those stories with us today and are able to do that. I got to ask you first, though, how are you doing? This is a hard time.
Yeah. It's been really hard. I've been friends with Grant for 25 years, and he was my first mentor in college, and I've been friends with him for so long, and then we worked side by side for 18 years.
Once he came back to KGW in 2008?
Yeah, 2008, when he came back to KGW, he
right.
gave me a call and asked me to join him, and it was just the honor of a lifetime to be able to do that.
Yeah, a 25-year friendship, almost 20 years working together, collaborating. Mm-hmm. Tell us more about this timeline of your relationship. You first met Grant when you were a student at Pacific University, his alma mater.
That's right. Yeah. Grant had been a student there, and I actually grew up watching Grant just from the time I was a kid in Tillamook, and he was the one guy who would cover the Oregon outdoors. And whenever Grant would come on TV, my dad would be simultaneously scared to death and thrilled that Grant might give away his favorite fishing spot.
Right.
But he was so excited that someone was covering the Oregon outdoors.
Wow, that's something else. And then you were a student at Pacific University, and you ended up actually taking a class with Grant.
That's right. Yeah. I met him through my first advisor at Pacific, Mike Steele. He said, "There's someone you ought to meet if you're going to go down this career path." And met Grant, and then soon after Grant started teaching a class. Took Grant's class, that led to an internship and great friendship, and then kind of the rest is history.
It really is. Yeah. I was honored to go to Grant's class a couple times and talk about local journalism with students there. He was an author, he was a teacher, and he was doing this great outdoor reporting that you were part of. What was it like working with Grant McOmie?
Well, he was the same guy off camera as he was on camera. Just that big personality, that big voice. That didn't go away when the cameras were off. He was just such a good and loyal friend. You might have seen some of our cooking segments and noticed that it was usually the same group of people who got to taste
right.
afterward.
Yeah.
A lot of those people were his friends from college that he kept all these years.
That's something else.
It's just such a fun group, and he's just such a great guy, incredible family.
And you said also your parents were part of that group. They would come and participate. I could see why the food always looked so good. And,
yes.
And Grant was always so excited to try. In Laurel's piece, he eats a smoked oyster or something, or scallop, I think, and just, oh my, it's just such a big deal. He was kind of this, you hear about people being larger than life. Mm-hmm. He kind of seemed like he really lived that. The enthusiasm factor was big with Grant.
The enthusiasm he had for Oregon was like nobody else.
Yeah.
And he just, took us to every corner of the state, and he just loved every minute of it.
The reaction from people, how's that been for you to see people getting in touch?
Yeah, I've been visiting with his family, and just the outpouring of support from everywhere has been amazing. Like how many people he touched, and we went to every corner of the Northwest, every small town, every back road. And every person he met just loved Grant. It was amazing.
What was the process like working with him? Were you on the road together always, or did you meet up in places, or how did that work?
We would usually head out together, and got kind of thinking back through the memories. That might actually be my favorite part, is just the road trips that we took.
Right.
For everybody who's loved listening to a Grant McOmie story. Think of how lucky I was to be able to sit in the front seat of the car on a 5-hour trip to Eastern Oregon and being able to listen to Grant's stories that whole time.
Wow.
And he was in the business about 45 years, and he had 45 years worth of stories to tell.
Yeah.
And we would be driving through some back road, and he's like, I remember that float trip we got to take.
I bet.
Down the Owyhee Canyon, and I remember that. I remember that time in the late '80s when my photographer found out that there was rattlesnakes, and he slept in the boat every night.
Wow, oh my goodness.
He had 1,000 stories like that.
I bet, and I'm sure you wish you had another road trip coming.
Yeah, that was the first thing I thought of, is I wish we could have one more adventure together.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you guys really did travel all over the state, off the highways and onto the byways, as Grant would say.
Yeah.
Did he have a favorite thing? I mean, in terms of location, or did he love to get those chanterelles, or was it a big salmon? Or
he loved all of it. I would say that his first love was fishing, for sure. You know, from an early age, he was fishing on the banks of the Wilson River, and that was probably his favorite. But he really did love all of it. Not just the places, the outdoor beauty, but he loved the people he would meet along the way.
Yeah. I said you guys are award-winning in your work, but I think it was probably not the biggest thing. It was more about being out there and doing what you did together. We just have about a minute left. What are you going to miss most, Jeff, about your good friend and partner?
Yeah, he was such a good friend. Yeah, I think that's what I'll miss the most, is our friendship. And then besides that, just the adventures we went on together, just being able to explore every corner of the state, and the hiking trails, the fishing trips together, the 3 a.m. wake up calls to go fishing over in Tillamook Bay.
Wow, yeah.
And it's hard to choose one, but just so many great memories we have together.
Well, I hope those memories are a comfort and a blessing to you and your family, and to Grant's family, Chris and the 3 boys. We wish them all the best, to all of you. Thanks so much for sharing with us, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you, Tim.
And thank you for joining us. A reminder, you can stream Straight Talk on your own schedule. Download the free TV app, KHW Plus, available now on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV. We'll see you back here next week.